This is Evan Robb with Disrupt Ed TV, and I am excited today to have a conversation with Rick Jetter and Rebecca Coda. Welcome.
Thanks, Evan. That's great to be here.
Absolutely.
Evan, thanks so much.
Really excited to get together today and excited to have an opportunity to have a conversation. Want to share a little bit with our viewing audience about your backgrounds because they certainly are quite interesting. In fact, you both have co-written 2 books together. The most recent book, Let Them Speak, and right before that, Escaping the School Leader's Dunk Tank, which sounds like an absolutely fabulous book. Rick, I know you've written 6 books in total, of course 2 of them in partnership with Rebecca. Rick, you've been a teacher all the way through a superintendent, an educational consultant, speak all over the country. Rebecca, you are a K-6, a director of curriculum, and also a speaker and, of course, an author, which is really, really, really cool. So what we're going to do today is we want to talk today about positive change in education. And this is an opportunity with a new school year about to begin for you to share some positive ideas that you can share with teachers and administrators all across the country as they get ready to welcome students into their door. So, Rebecca, where would you like to begin?
You know, we're the only profession that every year we get a refresh, we get a do-over, and we get a kind of an opportunity to relaunch. And I don't know about all the other school districts, but we're all fired up because we've just gone to retreats. We've really dug into our data to look at where our kids are and where our next moves are. But really, our greatest data point is going to be, they're going to be right before us sitting in their seats when they come see us that first time. In fact, ours is Monday, so we're going to see students for the first time in a while, and really getting to know them and fostering those relationships and getting to know their needs is really going to be a pivotal learning point for us to have a really great year.
Yeah, that's, Rebecca, that's a good point because, think about the brand new year. Sometimes administrators are laying tons of data on the teachers, right? Oh, what were the assessments last year? What, let's look at these kids. What were they doing achievement-wise, right? And you and I, right, we're sitting back, we're saying, wait a second. What about the kids? We haven't talked to the kids yet. Let's put a spreadsheet together about what the kids are feeling right at the beginning of the school year and where we want to go to plan the year together, right? And give them the biggest bang for their buck. So it's funny you say that. It's right. We get hit with so many different data pieces, and we don't hit the ones right in front of us.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I know a lot of faculties for the opening faculty meetings as the school year starts, they'll have collaborative conversations about their hopes and their dreams for the school year. And I would guess that you all would be equally supportive of having those same conversations with students to find out the things that they're interested in, what they hope for with the new school year about to begin. Because what I typically find is we live in a world where tests and test scores and data becomes very, very important. But a lot of middle school kids, in fact, most middle schools, when they're coming to the first day of school, are not thinking about a state standards test. They're thinking about making connections with their teachers and seeing their friends. And your message, which resonates with me, is that it's so important for teachers to be able to hear the voices of children and use that information to help them shape their classroom lessons and certainly even to shape the direction of a school.
Absolutely. In fact, it's been such an amazing outpouring on social media and connecting with other educators around this idea of student voice and really listening to our kids and what their needs are. And we've got curriculum directors, we've got principals, we've got teachers that are saying, you know what? We're going to plan for those first few days of school, but part of that plan is to see what they want to be in the plan and let them help cultivate what that learning looks like and some of those menus and ideas from them of what, that first quarter should look like and some things that they want to see in place. So now we're seeing kids come to the table and teachers saying, whoa, I can't shape out all of my lesson plans quite yet until I include the kids. And it's absolutely amazing.
Rick, let me interrupt. Let me throw a quick question at you.
Sure.
A lot of times, and I can remember when I was in school, and this may resonate with both of you too, but the first couple of days of school, I was inundated with rules and procedures and basically what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And I know from your message, I'm sure you don't discount the value of expectations, but you also want to make sure that there is communication with kids to find out their hopes and their wants for the school year. So can you share some concrete ideas on how a teacher who is starting a school year can bring that element into their first couple of weeks of school?
Yeah, it's, that's such a great question. I've just been writing a few blogs about opening days and getting voice involved, but not shirking our responsibility as educators to create a safe, structured environment where kids feel safe, right? The number one thing that I've always seen and told other educators is just ask the kids one question. You can go over behavior, expectations, and safety in one question. And that question is, hey kids, let's do a huddle right now. Come on, gather around. Here's the huddle question. We're a football team. Mm-hmm. How is this team going to function to cross over the end zone, right? What are we going to do that's safe and respectful in this classroom that'll carry throughout the entire school? That's it, one question. Mm-hmm. And then the kids start saying, this is what we think we should do. No bullying is allowed. Here's how we should function. No put downs, right? And then you just start throwing those things up on Post-it notes and you start blanketing the classroom and what they say. And I'm not coming in with posters that I bought at the store that said, this is how everybody should behave. And we need to behave, boys and girls. And, oh man, just ask the kids and throw it right up there. And they always come through. They do. They come through. They answer the questions for us. Mm-hmm. And it only takes one question. That's it.
And Rebecca, I'm sure you'll chime on with this, but what Rick is talking about is also a wonderful way to start building relationships. And, we are in the relationship business as we work with kids and as administrators work with teachers. And instead of just throwing a list of do's and don'ts, to be able to have that connection, and Rick, you're describing a really fun, exciting, energetic classroom that kids are going to be really excited about.
Oh, absolutely. Our kids really do want to walk away those first few days of school knowing that they're valued, and even just bringing to light what they're good at, why people like them, what they want their meaningful contribution to be. But ultimately, one of the biggest questions we can ask that will be the biggest linchpin of a relationship is asking them, what makes a good life? Because once we uncover what makes a good life to each of those students, then we can kind of backwards plan, how are we going to get there together? We've got all these rules. We just did all these Post-it notes and we all contributed to how we're going to work together effectively as a team. But now, how am I as a teacher going to help you reach your goal of a good life? And that's going to look completely different student to student.
Yeah, that's a huge point, and Rebecca, you make me think of that just then going into the next question about, you take the topic. Kids, what do you think homework should look like for our school year? Let's work together to figure out how that's going to look. Take it to any aspect of their life and their happiness where they can walk away and be like, wow, that Rebecca Coda, man, I'm gonna follow her like the Pied Piper. She is cool, man. She cares about what I think. I've never had a teacher ask me about these kind of things, right? So that's when student voice just explodes and the kids are just like, whoa, we know that we are in a place that we feel valued. And it's not this top down, you're the teacher with the degree and we're the dopey kids who, are supposed to learn from you, right? That's not how it goes, right? And those perceptions, we have to strip those down. We're together in a partnership with our kids.
And it's that investment in a relationship that makes kids can't wait to come to day 2 of school. That's our job. If we are so invested in them and this is their school and we're in this together and we're their coach and we're going to help them get to their dreams and goals, and we're going to do it together within the structure of we're all agreeing to these expectations, and we still have to meet these standards. But when they're invested in that process, they're going to leave just excited to come back to school the next day because they feel valued.
They feel valued, and when students feel valued, they are much more interested in trying their best and working in order to improve their learning in the classroom. The old saying, kids do not do their best when they're in classrooms with teachers who they think don't like them. It simply doesn't work. And you also, You know, I know from reading Dave Burgess's book, Teach Like a Pirate, he has some really powerful questions, such as, if students didn't have to be in your classroom, would they still want to be in your classroom? You know, or if students could go into any classroom that they wanted to within a building, which classroom might they want to go to? And my guess is kids gravitate towards classrooms where they feel that they have voice. And that's exactly what you're sharing with us today, because from voice comes relationships and connectivity.
Yeah, you know, Evan, I want to throw this in while my wheels are turning about it. You know, sometimes educators are apprehensive about this. When Rebecca and I say partnership,
Mm-hmm.
that could scare some people away, and they're like, well, "What do you mean a partnership? I'm here to teach the kids," and we always contend that this isn't about like handing over the keys to the school. This isn't like a Lord of the Flies thing where we're just like, okay, do whatever you want, and I'm here to facilitate that. Or no, it's exactly the opposite. It's we want our kids to know that we are right alongside them, because there's days that I wake up,
Mm-hmm.
I make a ton of mistakes. I'm cranky. I'm crabby. You know what I mean? I'm going in. You got to leave your baggage at the door. Kids don't need our crabbiness weighing upon their own life crabbiness and things they have going on. But it's like, just we're not handing over school buildings where we're saying, okay, kids, it's your school, that student voice. It's nothing like that. It's just building that partnership, and that's what we hit home on so often.
But I will tell you, you know, and I appreciate you sharing this, it does redefine, especially some of the myths that live within education. You know, you all probably have heard the old saying of, you know, don't smile until Thanksgiving time.
Oh, yeah.
Live within the urban myth of school. Exactly. But certainly very counter to what you're talking about. I really appreciate you kind of communicating really clearly that it's not about going all one way and it's a big free for all, but it is born about from having relationships and giving students the opportunity to have voice. And in many ways, it's redefining the way that a classroom can be. Certainly when I think back to classrooms that I experienced when I was in school.
And it really is an attribute of personalization. So when we look at the world we live in right now and how fast and customized it is, everything's going to a customization. You know, student voice, student choice, student empowerment, that can be really scary to a lot of teachers and seem like it's going to be a hostile takeover. But really, it is a healthy treason when we do it within the construct of keeping it focused on education, and through this empowerment are our students helping us get to that same goal. We're just doing it together. So we're not handing it off, we're doing it together as a
partnership. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rebecca, because I've got a school about, I'd say 50 miles in the Rochester area. They're having kids look at their policy manuals for revisions. Some of the high school students, right, they formed a focus group. They're dusting off their old policy manuals. They want to update their policies, update what's best for kids within those policies. They're having students be a part of the review process, right? They can be a partner in instruction and assessment and policies, procedures, field trips, programming, you name it. And again, we think, well, no, those are adult issues. Policies. No. Those are adult issues. They can be a little scary. But what we've been finding is jump in the water. Just take a little baby step. Just dip your foot in the water and try something and start slow. And you'll see that kids their faces are gonna light up. They're like, wow, we can't believe we're a part of this. This is awesome.
Well, Rick and Rebecca, I really appreciate the really exciting conversation today, and it's inspiring to me, and I know it's going to be incredibly inspiring to people that are watching this video, about thinking a little differently about some things that we may have done, and realizing that you don't have to jump directly into the pool. You can start incrementally, but starting is the challenge that I guess I would get out of our conversation. Encourage people to start. And thank you. And so this is Evan Robb. I have to wrap up my conversation with Rick and Rebecca for Disrupt Ed TV, reminding you that if you want to bring innovation and creativity into your life, at times you may need to disrupt your routine.